Okay, welcome. My name is Lindsey House. I am a registered dietitian, personal trainer, accountability coach, and I'm so stinking excited to spend this next hour with you talking about achieving weight loss, success through the holidays, and entering the new year with momentum and confidence. And how good does that sound? I'm going to take a few minutes while we wait for people to enter the room and let you know that you're going to be coming in with your sound muted, and you're welcome to leave your face on, or you can turn your picture off as well. We will be communicating purely through the chat today. I have a couple individuals helping me run the chat since I'm talking. I want to make sure that I get a glimpse of it, but I also want to make sure that other questions are being answered. And if you feel like something is not being answered, please know that if it doesn't happen in tonight's session, I will be reaching out to you to get those answers to you. So what I need you to do right now is go over to your little section that says meeting chat. And you want to make sure that you turn it on to chat with everyone, not just with me. So we need your chat up and running so that we can have some communication and some flow going. And then I also need you to keep your mic off, which shouldn't be a problem. And again, full permission to go ahead and take your picture off as well. Okay, let's see. So whoops, I just made my chat super big. I do not need it that big. Okay. All right. Again, welcome. If you just entered the room, go ahead and introduce yourself. And I would love to see where you're from. This is always exciting to me because it's from all over. We have people from Canada, we have people from England, we have people from the United States. And then it's just fun to see where everybody is, what time zones we're all in. So we have a few people popping on. Okay, welcome Jan from Florida, Kathy from Ohio, Hollis from Ohio, Ginger from Colorado. Loving this. Welcome, welcome. If I don't catch you right away, it's because sometimes the chat takes a little bit of time to catch up with where we are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and I promise to be very time attention to this 1 hour together because I know everybody has busy lives, and I just appreciate you sharing this hour of your time with me. If you have ever joined me on a masterclass before, I really like to take 2 minutes to set this up, get your brain in a good spot. If that means grabbing a little cup of coffee, I know it's late. Hopefully it'd be just decaf coffee with me this evening, tea, hot water, whatever kind of helps you settle in for a minute. Take some you time, pull out some notebook paper so you can take some notes and just settle in. Try to turn off the dings, put the phone down. Um, try to enjoy an hour of it just getting to be you. If that means you need to go hide in your bedroom or bedroom closet, not a problem, right? You can do it. So just enjoy this hour together. Okay. I would like to go ahead and again, just introduce you to what we are talking about today. And this is achieving weight loss success through the holidays, entering a new year with momentum and confidence, right? Okay. Why do I care about talking about this right now? Because wouldn't it be glorious if when January 1st came, that we had already been working for the last 2 months, that we didn't have to do this overhaul. It wasn't a scary timer season that we have to do all this damage control. And instead, we've already been nitpicking away at these little moments where we can make a change. And so in the chat, if you just want to say, yes, please, you can do the little hallelujah signs, the hands that go up. If you feel like that is you, that yeah, I want to enter January just feeling like cool, calm, and confident with momentum and confidence. It would be amazing. So that is why we are here together today. I do not think, okay, yes, I do have the right thing up. A little bit about me. Anybody who's been following me, I will go fast through this so that you do not feel like you constantly are learning about me. It is not about me tonight, but I just need you to know why I care and why I feel like I can sit up here and confidently help you through the holidays. And again, I am a registered dietitian. I am a personal trainer, and I've been doing this for a really long time. 15 plus years at this point, and helping clients through the holidays. And it's just given me so much motivation to say, hey, we can do this together and we're going to be stronger for it. I personally don't like feeling like I have to be perfect to get to the answers of health. I don't like feeling like I have to work out hardcore to get results. And that's what I'm constantly bringing to you, is that this direction, not perfection type mentality, that we can have beautiful goals and insights and build resiliency around the health and fitness journey. And we're going to get some amazing results without it having to be perfect, without it having to be hardcore diet mentality. If no pain, no gain type of thinking. It's not me. It never has been, never will be. And I just want to gently guide you into this journey with me. I actually just had a podcast guest today that will release in the next couple of weeks that was talking about the toxicity of diet culture. So, and she was able to kind of walk through all of this so beautifully. And I can't wait to release her episode. Um, I have my own struggles with time and boundaries, as many of you might have even just struggled to show up today. That if we have kiddos, careers, sports, hobbies, life's going in all different directions, and I forever want to bring attention to that and give you permission to say that it's okay, right? Like, this is just life. And at the moment, I even have a dog barking downstairs who probably needs to go out. And I'm just giving myself permission at the moment to let somebody else take care of it. Life is constantly coming at us, and it's just like really setting some boundaries. And we can talk through that as well. I am the creator of the Powerhouse program, which I'll tell you a little bit about today. And again, I've been at this for a really long time. So, all right, here we go. I would like to talk about some risk factors. I thought this was a really great way to start our time together. One of the experts that I love, and I'm going to bring you another holiday episode with this individual. Her name's Dr. Eliza Kingsford, had a blog post out on these 5 risk factors. And I thought, Eliza, I'm going to steal your risk factors for a minute, because it's a beautiful way to set up our masterclass together. And it's this idea that these can lead to holiday weight gain. Okay. And I'm going to do this a little more one by one. All right. Risk factor number 1, abundance of tempting food sitting around, right? We're going to go into, we have individual slides for each one of these, but just, it's real. The food is abundant. It's around, it's sitting out at offices, at our desk, at home. I don't know about you, but Halloween baskets are still sitting around at my house. So I know it's real, and we need to talk about it. Number 2, risk factor, holiday stress and emotional eating. This emotional eating component is a big deal. This is real. We're going to talk about what we're actually really hungry for, and that'll make more sense in a bit. Risk factor number 3, social gatherings. Are they coming for you? Have you seen your calendar already start to load up? You can type that in the chat. You can say, OMG, social gatherings. Or maybe you're somebody who you're like, no, I kind of wish I had more social gatherings. That's okay too. And I feel like this is where community, even virtual community, can really start to be a nice social outlet. So lean in, and I can help you in that direction. Risk factor number 4, disrupted routines. Holy cow, disrupted routines. I start to notice that in all different sorts of seasons of life, summertime is one of my more disrupted times of routine, actually, even more than the holidays, but you might really recognize it during the holidays. And risk factor number 5, season traditions and rituals. So let's go ahead and kind of walk through these one by one. and start to talk about the whole idea that there is an abundance of tempting food sitting around, right? Okay. I have a tip for you on this. And again, if you've been with me forever and ever, this will just be a review for you. If you are new to me, I've had a couple people go, I've never really thought about it that way before. Thank you. So, when we think about showing up to constant food options, one of my biggest recommendations for you is to think about this scale of our likes versus dislike of food. And a 0 or a 1 on that scale can be foods that you could literally care less about. If you never ate it again, if you never saw it again, you actually don't even like it. Or that opposite end of the spectrum could be a number 9 and 10 type of food is I love that food. If I went through a holiday season and I never got to eat it, I would literally think about it for the next 2 weeks. Like, I love it. I need it. Okay. And then there's everything in between. And so why I'm telling you this is now picture yourself showing up to a party, to a holiday party. And I know a lot of them are kind of a serve yourself and possibly like buffet style table, and maybe not, and that's okay too. But I want you to really assess as you walk up to these different food choices where they fall on that scale for you. And then the next piece of this is only pick out the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. If you are showing up to a Thanksgiving dinner and you see pumpkin pie sitting there and you're about to grab it and it is only a 4 on your scale of like, and you are literally grabbing it because it is Thanksgiving and we eat pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. I'm going to blow your mind here, but we're going to bust through some of that thinking to go, I actually don't have to have it. I can kindly decline. I just don't have to put it on my plate. Those are different. We can talk through more of those types of things as well. But the plain and the simple is if we just keep it on that, I'm really going to try to eat the 8s, 9s, and 10s. The 10 might be the roll on the table for you, or it might be the turkey, or it might be pecan pie instead of pumpkin. Like, those are the things that we're seeking and that we really want to hone in on. Okay. So that is your tip for the abundance of tempting foods sitting out. Choose wisely. All right. Then we have this whole holiday stress and emotional stress eating, right? A lot of stress can come with the holidays. And this can look like, I think when people think of stress, they think about kind of stressed out, hustling and bustling around, like not getting good sleep, a little anxious, maybe your depression peaks around this time of the year for you. And when we link that word emotional eating in with it, one of the best ways that I had a therapist describe this whole idea of emotional eating is what are we actually hungry for? Because a lot of times when we're going to food out of an emotional need, it's normally because we're doing tired eating, or we're doing bored eating, or we're doing stressed eating. And there's always the happy, joyful, celebratory eating, the sad eating. They all exist. This picture of what I have up here is kind of how I think of people picturing emotional eating. Just kind of sitting with ice cream or cookies or bonbons, if those even still exist anymore. But it doesn't have to just be that. It can just literally be, I'm tired and I'm seeking food right now because I ultimately believe it's going to give me some energy. So my questions for you with this is what's your plan? If you know that this season brings up emotional eating, if you know that holiday stress, emotional eating go hand in hand, what's your game plan that you're about to have in place? And so when we go back to that question of what are you truly hungry for? Are you hungry for me time? Are you hungry for sleep? Are you hungry for organization? Maybe your house kind of becomes a hot mess. That is if we know what we're seeking, then our game plan becomes a little more clear, right? And then our game plan becomes, if I am ultimately hungry for sleep, I need to go to bed earlier a couple of nights out of the week, or I need to take a nap when it's presented and give me that guilt-free time. If I'm hungry for me time, where am I missing in my day that I could be carving that out? Even if it means scheduling it on my calendar, if it means waking up just a little bit earlier, 15 minutes to get my time in before the rest of the day. starts. So you need to be asking yourself that question. What am I truly hungry for if I see the emotional eating coming into place? And I always need to say this, if you need a referral to a professional during this high stress season, during the seasonal change, that it is getting darker. A lot of people feel their anxiety rise and their depression rise during this time of season, that we might need some external sources and help. Okay. All right. Social gatherings is one of those risk factors that we were talking about. And if you are feeling overwhelmed by social gatherings, don't forget that our yeses and nos can be strong. Okay. So, for instance, choose wisely with your yeses. When you think about social gatherings, I want you to consider that you actually can say no to something, that you actually can decline, even though it feels like, oh, we always get together at this time of year. We always meet up with this group. Sometimes when we've always done something for so long, now all of a sudden we have a bunch of those always, and it's like something's got to give somewhere. I need you to go into social gatherings also with a plan. So your plan could be, maybe in the past you've seen yourself do a lot of meal skipping all day, that you like save up for that holiday event, but then you're starving by the time you get there, and then you overeat. It's like, maybe my plan this year is I'm going to have like a nice healthy hearty snack before I go to that social event, and then just really focus on, put a beverage in my hand and really take the focus off the food when I go. I'm going to really focus on conversation, be intentional with that time with people. Another type of plan that can be in place is uh, thinking through which types of foods. Again, if we kind of go with that scale of the food ratings, I'm going to focus on protein. I'm going to go for the meats, and I'm going to go for the fruits and the vegetables. And then the other space that I still have left on my plate, I'm going to allow myself to have desserts or to have a roll if I want one. I'm just going to be conscious about it. I'm not going to do anything without some intention behind it. Okay. Don't forget about all the other opportunities also throughout this holiday season that we can be making healthy choices, because we're home or because we don't have a social event that night. We can utilize those other pockets of time to be healthy. Okay. So go in with a plan, because after all, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. That would be my biggest recommendation when we think holidays. All right, disrupted routines. This is a big one, especially if you feel that you are a personality that functions really well out of routine. You find when your routine is set, you are flowing, the workouts happen, the healthy foods happen, the not drinking at night happens, but then you throw that routine out the window, and all of a sudden it's like, where'd all my healthy behaviors go? Okay, so listen up. If you are a disrupted routine person, how resilient are you to jump back on track is probably my biggest question for you out of this, because we need to expect during different seasons of life that routine will get disrupted. One of our most underutilized tools is expectations and shifting of expectations. So, like, if our expectation going into November, December is that we shouldn't have any disruptions in our routine, then we've already set ourselves up for failure. What we should be expecting is that routines will be disrupted. We'll have that social event at night. Maybe we'll have the accidental extra cocktail. So, how fast can we jump back on track? And I think of that, for an example, like with a workout. Something that's really helped me in the past is, if I have a bigger social event at night, is to line up an early morning workout buddy that I know I wouldn't cancel on, because I would maybe cancel on myself, but I wouldn't cancel on the buddy. And it actually ripples into the nighttime behaviors, because I don't want to show up super tired, groggy, or maybe having had that extra beverage at night to my workout buddy in the morning. So it makes me conscious of my behaviors at night, of how I want to show up in the morning. So that's just an example of, we have to like flex and flow a little bit with disrupted routines, and then become very resilient of doesn't matter, went to do something different, workout didn't happen, or healthy food choice didn't happen, but at our next opportunity, can we jump back on track? Just thinking out loud through some of this stuff and seeing what resonates. There's almost an element of all of this holiday talk that's like, let's throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And I actually would love if you would comment in the chat of what is resonating with you at the moment. What are you noticing that you're going, ooh, that could maybe actually work for me? Okay, Kathy just said the scale of the eating, only eating the 8s, 9s, and 10s. I hear you on that. Like, that makes a huge difference for me. Hollis just chimed in with getting the workout in. Yes, just getting the brain in the right spot. Awesome, awesome. Keep them coming. Okay, I'll come back and look at that in a minute. So, risk factor, I believe this was number 5, seasonal traditions and rituals. I wanted to talk about this for a minute because when we have traditions, when we have rituals going on, there's a level of pressure to say yes. So I'm going to go back to that pumpkin pie example that I was using. If it's traditional that one of your family members brings a pumpkin pie and you don't care for it, but you feel like this would be so rude if I didn't eat it, that sometimes we need to talk around that. You could offer to, do you mind if I take my slice and I save it for later, type of thing. You know, we can have the discussion around, I feel like I need to tell you I don't love pumpkin pie. You can go that route, but if that's extremely uncomfortable to you, then a nice way to do things is sometimes just take the dessert option and save it for later. And then you can either share it, dispose of it in your own time, in your own privacy, but that is definitely an option. We can use season traditions also to our benefit. I know that we've done some turkey trots around here on Thanksgiving morning where it became a little bit of a tradition to have the family go do the 5K. The turkey was already in the oven, and then we come back. So traditions can be healthy as well, and really starting to think maybe your kids are getting a little bit older and you could think about some of these 5Ks, or maybe you're a grandparent and you're like, I could be the person who starts some of these traditions at this phase of life. I maybe have a little bit of time to organize it for my family, and I want to provide that for my grandkids. Let them see grandma, grandpa out there starting some of those healthy traditions. So just know that that's on the table as well. And using some of the events, I was thinking through events as well, but like mall walking to go look at new fun ideas. I love the mall that's by us. It just has, from stores to their decorations, to it's enjoyable. I meet clients over there because I'm like, let's just go take in the smells of the mall. It's warm inside. Like, you can build in traditions and rituals around the holidays that actually benefit you. Okay. But my heads up is if you have traditions that are unhealthy, and most of us have those as well, and that's okay. It's just a balance that we can work around them or just expect them. Back to that word expect, right? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit more about the this or that type of thinking. So we're going to exit out of those. We've kind of worked our way through the risk factors. If anybody has any questions on that, let me know. And now we're going to start taking a deep dive into this or that thinking. And why am I talking about this or that thinking? One of the things that I stand on, believe in, is small changes make a big difference, or little by little by a little becomes a lot. And I have to remind myself of that as well, because it is really easy to approach a moment, a dinner, a social event, and your brain takes over and goes, does it even matter? Does that drink even matter? Does eating that dip even matter? Does having the extra roll even matter? And so what I'm trying to do tonight is kindly remind you that the small changes do matter. They make a difference. And I want to show you how that starts to come into play. So I liked thinking about dipping wisely. This was from a blog that I found, a holiday blog, and I put the link here in case you wanted to go check out the blog. but to dip wisely, to remember that there are different calories in different dips, right? And so a salsa, which could be just around 36 calories per 4 tablespoons, we think about another like cream cheese type of dip, and all of a sudden we're at 200 plus calories for those 4 tablespoons. So, and I bring this up because there's so many times, so many instances where if we didn't know the calories, we might be going, I like them both the same. If you like something both the same, then choose the lesser calorie option, right? I don't think that we have to get all hung up on calories. It's just knowledge is power. And if we know that we like one is equal to the other and one's lower, have the lower one. And then something like a hummus that would only be 100 calories per 4 tablespoons. I want you to become this label reader. And if you know certain things are going to be at certain social events, the cheese ball might be at a certain social event. My mother-in-law had this Greek yogurt dip, and I hope I pronounce it right. Tzatziki, I want to call it, at our house. And it was so good. And now I've started keeping it at my house, but it's a Greek yogurt dip and extremely less calories than another creamy dip. So making little decisions like that, you as the guest coming to the house can oftentimes have that opportunity to bring your things that feel healthy and good to you. So just don't forget about that. And let's keep moving through the meal. So maybe we've moved on from an appetizer and now we're into the meal and looking at a side. I like to take sweet potatoes with Thanksgiving type of thinking because a lot of us think of the ultra sweet ones. And when we look at just like a good old sweet potato, we're sitting around 90 calories for a smaller to medium one. And I like this visual because does anybody else think about doing just like a good old baked sweet potato? They're actually quite yummy, quite delicious. But I wanted to point out that these candied sweet potatoes, typically for around a 3-ounce serving size, is around 180 calories, right? So it's around 180 calories versus the 90 calories. Is it the end of the world? No, but this might also help you on that scale of, is it an 8, 9, or 10 in your book of loving candied sweet potatoes? And if not, bites of it might be fine, but just know that it does add up. And I would do that same thing with the other sides, whether that's the green beans with the onion toppings. Pick your side of choice and look it up before you start your meal. Or if you're the one cooking the meal, do some flipping over of packages and just seeing what nutrition labels look like. You could go in pretty empowered thinking that. And I also wanted to point this out. I think we hear a lot of times dark versus light meat, right? Pick the light meat or the white meat. And I found this interesting because for a cup of dark meat, it's 262 calories. For a cup of white meat, only 220. Now, is that a big difference? No. For 1 cup difference, it's only a 42 calorie difference, the dark versus the white meat. But that's if we're talking very small portions, right? So if we're somebody who's reloading our plate a few times and now you've reloaded with a couple more cups of dark meat versus the white meat, now we're at 126 calorie difference. Now the calories can start to add up. So that's another little tip to throw in your tool bag here is that in smaller portions, calorie differences aren't that enormous. It's when we start amping up the portion sizes that then our choices are, does it even matter thinking, are this versus that thinking becomes really real and really saves us hundreds and hundreds of calories. Okay. So we can't talk holidays without talking alcoholic beverages, because I know you're about to be walking into parties. And I have a couple of slides on this, actually. I wanted to just start with the wine for a second and even a couple of the beers and whatnot. But think about wine portion sizes, like what's in this woman's mouth right now. That would be a very large wine glass. You could easily assume it's up in the 190s for calorie wise, if not over 200. And smaller glasses of wine sit around 120, 130 or so. And again, not that you can't have it. It's just understanding, like, I'm willing to accept If I have a glass, it looks like 130 calories. If I have two, if I have three, if I have four, I can understand like how those calories keep multiplying. And then the resilience part of jumping back on track, right? I want to go to the next slide to talk about the beers and other options, because this is another area that it can really make a big difference on your choices. Here's where I'm guilty. Looking at, I really like Blue Moon. I don't even think it's on here, or this would be close. I'm going to call this my Blue Moon. If I know that I like Blue Moon, but I also like Miller Lite, and I know that my Miller Lite is only 96 calories, I think it is, and that Blue Moon is easily 193 calories, somewhere in there, if not 200, then if you like them both the same, I'm going to keep doing this. If you like them both the same, then pick the lighter one. You're going to start to save yourself hundreds of calories. I actually found a Chardonnay that is a Kendall Jackson version that's only 80 calories versus that 120, 130 per serving size. So I challenge you, and in the chat, put if you accept the challenge, okay? I challenge you to look up some of your favorite beverages and just see what you're looking at. And don't worry, for all my people out there who are not alcohol drinkers, that's fine. We also have to be careful with our hot beverages or our kind of Starbucks like thinking that our hot chocolates, our eggnogs can add up really fast too. And again, it's not that you shouldn't or can't have them, but let's say eggnog for you is a 10 on the scale of I love it, I only drink it when the holidays come around once a year, then that 224 calories per cup doesn't seem bad. It's kind of like, fine, I'll have it, right? Like I want it. It's my dessert. I can't wait. But on the flip side of that thinking is sometimes as we're driving through Starbucks, and I just did this the other day, that I'm like, ooh, pumpkin spice latte, or whatever it was, that if I'm doing that on a day-to-day basis because it exists in the holiday season, then those calories are going to add up really fast. So again, knowledge is power. I want you to, all of these sites have facts, right? If they are a chain restaurant, you can go grab their nutrition facts. So I think it is an interesting exercise to do with my clients. And I used to teach this 8-week-long class, and I felt like for one whole class, I would bring in nutrition facts from different restaurants, from a Panera, a Starbucks, a Skyline, like any of the ones that I hear clients going to, and just take a moment to look at typical options and what that means or what that looks like from a calorie standpoint. And am I willing to accept that? Because sometimes we are, and then sometimes we feel like we're trying to be healthy, and and it's like sugar. No, that sandwich that I was getting at Panera is 1,000 calories. What? Or that salad that I was getting at Skyline is 800 calories. What? I don't mind eating more calories, or when it's like purposeful and you just want it because you want it. But if you're trying to do better or to go lower calorie and you're still just accidentally doing that, that's when it's a bit of a bummer, right? So if you do nothing more than leave this holiday chat with doing a little bit of your own research with different foods, different restaurants, different social gatherings that you know are about to happen, I would like you to go in empowered. So we're going to talk being empowered, and then we're going to talk resiliency of getting right back on track when that moment's over. If you could master both of those things, oh man, you'd be coming into January looking pretty, sitting pretty. Okay. So lastly, let's just talk desserts for a second. We can have dessert. This is direction, not perfection, you're listening to tonight. This is not, we're not omitting, we're not avoiding, we're just talking about it. And again, just bringing up intentional thoughts. So a cookie might be less than a piece of pie. And if you like them both equally, maybe it would be worth doing that. Putting whipped cream on top of things, depending on what type of whipped cream you grab for, can add. And I think that with beverages too, if you're getting a hot chocolate from something like a Starbucks and you let them put the whipped cream on, you could accidentally be adding an extra 120 calories, where a lot of people are like, I don't even like it. I forget to take it off. Well, you forgot that you just added an extra 120 calories type of thinking. So it's just little areas that we can tweak that it just helps. And something like a Cool Whip versus a full whipping cream makes a huge difference. 168 calories versus 408 in that cup. Oof. And different pies too. Something like this pecan pie versus a pumpkin pie, you can see less calories in different decisions. And again, like a cookie might look different than a pie. So, cannot emphasize this enough, that we get decisions all day, every day. And if we go in with a plan, I'm going to have my Miller Lite instead of my Blue Moon. I'm going to have a cookie instead of a piece of pecan pie. I'm going to not have the roll because I don't care about it. And I'm going to choose the white meat instead of the dark meat. And I'm going to have bites of some of the sides, but I don't even love some of the sides. Like, you can see how you can be chunking down calorie content throughout your day. And this might not equate to weight loss for you, but it would probably equate to weight maintenance. And if you're going strong and momentum's going strong for some of you, if you can keep the fitness going and the decision making going, you might continue to see weight loss through the holidays. That's a real thing. We can do that, right? So, all right, I want to take you through this kind of like, can you imagine? Can you imagine being a month into your health goals before the new year, before January 1? And I need you to think like what a month can do. And for some of you, that might even look like more than a month, but like a month can start to change lab work and can start to decrease cholesterol and decrease triglycerides and increase the good stuff like the HDL cholesterol. And we can make changes in that month's time. We can be saying yes to something that's just for you. For any of you who are like, it's me on the, what am I hungry for? I'm hungry for me time. I'm hungry to put myself first, to feel that like reprieve, that you can do that by saying yes to paying attention to yourself, to keeping your priorities at the top of the list. And how can we do that? So, if you've been listening to me on my Direction Not Perfection Powerhouse page, I've been coming at you live and just giving you tips and tricks. I have a free podcast that I release every Friday with I personally think are amazing guests. I always feel so spoiled that I have them sitting across the computer screen from me. I need you to know that there's always these free options. And if you're not utilizing them from me or another podcast host or another professional that you trust, it could be an accountability buddy too. Like, we have free options and we also have pay options. I hire coaches because coaches get me to where I want to go faster and they get me on a more direct path. And because I hire coaches, I like to offer similar options that they offer because I see how much it helped me. Like, I took a 9-month course this year. Last December, I remember being in Hilton Head and kind of hemming and hawing about, am I going to say yes to this course? And I knew in my head I wanted to. And I was like, I just need like that final affirmation from my husband. And I kind of wrote him a letter of why I think I wanted to say yes to this. And he was like, babe, I mean, you do you. Like, I support you 1,000%. Either way, do it or don't. And I think I needed to hear it that way, but it was the most dedicated 9 months of my time and effort in the most clear, direct path that I could have spent. And it was so worth it. I just had somebody the other day go, was it a good return on your investment? 100%. And that would be something that I'm always striving for my clients too, is I want them to get return on their investment. It's going to look different from hiring a business coach versus hiring a fitness or a health coach or a dietitian. But the return on investment comes back in health, and it comes back in movement, and it comes back in confidence and momentum. And so when I think about pulling tools together, busting through weight loss plateaus, succeeding through the holidays, I offer a 12-week program that we build professional resources, accountability systems, that resiliency that I'm talking about. We do the resiliency training. I have tools that help you turn away from diet mentality and just learning the art of celebrating our wins, because man, are we not good about that. We stink at celebrating what's going well. And we need to do that, or else why the heck would we want to keep showing up to it? So I wanted to give you a quick little glimpse into what an accountability source like that would look like. And you would come into, I have what would look like modules, and you click into the modules, and then there's me talking to you. There's these videos, and with each video comes worksheets, and then with the worksheets and the videos comes one-to-one sessions together each week for that 12 weeks. And I just want you to take that in for a minute. Because, man, talk about putting ourselves at the top of the priority list, of investing in ourselves, of showing up for ourselves every week. Again, through showing up to videos, through showing up to worksheets, through showing up to getting to sit across from the computer screen like this together. It's glorious. And I already have clients running through it, and it feels really special to me. I feel very honored to be getting to walk this path with these individuals. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love what I'm doing. And again, just so honored. The first step that you could take after listening or going through something like this is book a call with me. Jump on a call. I call them weight loss consults. It can be a discovery call, whatever you would like that to look like. But it is my opportunity to help give you those. Where do I start is what I hear a lot. I can give you the starting points. I can give you I now have listened to where you are in your journey and in your life, and this is where I see some tweaking going on. These are no pressure calls. It's just your opportunity to build a connection with me so I can understand you better, and then we can set up some goals that feel good in your journey. And if you would like to keep going further on this journey together, great. And if not, then we keep doing the podcasts and the show up to the powerhouse community or the direction, not perfection community. There's so many options. So if anything like this is sounding good to you, please in the chat, just raise your hand and say, yes, I would love to show up in January and feel so on top of my game. And we can reach out to you. I'm going to have a link in our chat where you can book a call. And then just some common questions that come with that. Is this right for me? What if I'm already working with another practitioner? Should I even consider the idea of working together? And absolutely book the call. At very minimum, we as practitioners, we love working together, right? I would choose a dream team of accountability sources all day, every day. So I don't think there's ever too many of us all working together. And like I said, at minimum, just to book that call and for us to be able to get you some good starting points. And understanding of how to utilize all of your accountability sources is a big deal. Question 2 that I hear a lot: I've tried every diet in the book and nothing has worked for me. Should I still even book a call? 100%. I have this full belief system. There's no lost causes. If you haven't found the right solution for you, it might be because you're stuck in diet mentality land. It might be because you haven't found the right professional to pair up with, haven't found the right journey that fits you personally. You've always been kind of wearing somebody else's journey. So absolutely book that call. Question number 3, I've already spent so much money to try to lose weight, and I'm really not interested in anything other than free. So if this call is anything more than just free, I don't want to do it. It is, I promise, no strings attached. I, of course, have a program for you. I have a membership that I offer, but that's for people who want to take this deep dive into more. They're really ready to dive into this journey of, I'm ready to see some change, and it's going to take more than just a call. But that call is a great starting point, and then down the road, if more is great. If not, I would love to just get to know you. Okay. That's my promise. Question 4. What if I am a rare or odd case with weight loss and I've been tossed around to so many professionals? Nothing's worked. Should I still book a call? And I know I've already kind of said that, but 100% book a call. If I'm not a good fit for you, I might know somebody who is. Again, do you know how many people I interview on Direction Not Perfection podcast? Like, I've got a really great network going on right now of going, ooh, this physical therapist can do this, or this therapist, not physical therapists, but like psychologists can really help you in this area. This physician specializes in this acupuncturist. Like, I've got a list for you. So just that can be the call alone, is let's talk referrals. All right. And I always like to throw this slide up here, but if you change nothing, nothing will change. Like, what do you need? What do you feel like you need to take what might be floating around in your brain, what might feel overwhelming, and just go whew, and put it down to paper and be like, here's the process. Here's the next step. Here's how we can settle into really seeing this new change in the new year. And wouldn't it be wonderful to start working on it now? Right? To start doing all these investigation steps so that you're just set up for success when you're ready to hit that go button. Again, I'm going to throw up some testimonials while I keep talking, but I believe strongly in accountability because I have seen it firsthand through clients, through things that I have said yes to. I remember this was years ago, but hiring my first coach, it was really scary. I was exiting my hospital scene and I knew I wanted to do private consults virtually as a dietitian. And I thought, I need help. I don't even know how to set up my own business or branding. And I remember listening to this dietitian on a Zoom call through our professional network and thinking, I really like this woman. She sounds so interesting. And at the end of her webinar, she was saying that she does do coaching, branding. And I pulled the trigger. I did the call, I talked to her. I felt it out to see if we were a good mix. First of all, we're still friends today. And I thoroughly enjoyed having her as a coach. And then I think we continue to move on from our coaches because we kind of learn and then we see that next step that we need. So my next coach that I ended up hiring, I was writing my Direction Not Perfection book. And I thought, I am never going to see the end of this. Like, I'm never going to finish that, whatever I need to finish to actually get it published. And I was standing in a room networking with a bunch of different professionals. And this woman literally walks up to me and I was like, what do you do? And she's like, I am a book coach. I was like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And she said, a book coach is somebody who helps authors get through their writings. They hold them accountable. They help them with the publishing process, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, done, sign me up, and I've moved on. And then I had professional business, marketing coaching. I walk the walk that I talk the talk, that I'm willing to hire, to invest in, because I see its benefit. And that's where I just feel like, again, the investment doesn't need to be laid down on your part at this moment. I just need you to know that there are options to get started. Again, the Direction Not Perfection podcasts are the free one-to-one call. What's holding you back from doing something like booking a free one-to-one call where we could get you started? And just lastly, we can things better together, right? Always. I love my communities. I feel so spoiled. I feel so blessed that I've been able to come into this area of my career that I finally feel like I know my niche. I love my seasoned women who are learning to love the skin that they're in and transform their body and their brain in a sustainable way. And if that fits, if that resonates for you, then at minimum, just book a call with me so I can really get to know you and that I can keep pouring love over your needs and whatever I can help you with through this holiday season. So thank you so much for joining me today. Again, book your one-to-one call. Let me know if you need any other help getting through some of those holiday risk factors. And just thank you for joining me today. Huge hugs. Talk later.